So the head of Assassin's Creed has just left Ubisoft, and this isn't some sort of clickbaity title or beginning of the video, it's actually happened. So Marc-Alexis Côté, longtime producer, creative on the series, and lately the franchise lead, is out after roughly 2 decades. The internal note to staff went around this week and of course was uploaded to Twitter shortly after, states that he was offered roles in the new leadership setup, but he declined and is moving on to different projects and different companies. The timing isn't random though. Ubisoft just spun Assassin's Creed, plus Far Cry and Rainbow Six into this new subsidiary called Vantage Studios, with Tencent owning 25%. The idea is to centralize the mega franchises under one roof, with new co-CEOs and presumably new decision-making rituals involving many meetings and hopefully better story producers. Whatever your feelings about corporate chess moves are, this is a genuine shake-up for the franchise, and Côté's exit lands right on the fault line. Now, here's the part where I'm going to say something that might sound harsh. If you've loved Assassin's Creed for years, I'm okay with him leaving. Not because he didn't contribute massively to the franchise, he did, but because the series has been missing something crucial for a while, and that is a coherent storyline and a coherent modern day storyline throughout the entire games in the last, I don't know, 10 years-ish. And of course, you know, based on reports, he wasn't a very nice person, so that's another reason why I'm glad he's left. But back to the franchise, okay? We've had flashes of a coherent story and modern day storyline throughout the games, but as a whole, it feels like each of them was just texting the group chat on mute whilst others were trying to pick up somewhere down the line. It just didn't make a whole lot of sense. Players and press have been saying as much for years though. Modern day either vanished, got minimized, or wandered between tones and formats like a GPS on low battery. Some fans are thrilled to see less of it, others miss the Desmond era clarity. Either way, the coherent saga hasn't been the overall vibe for the recent Assassin's Creed games, and that includes sequels and prequels. I mean, we've got Mirage, which is a prequel to Basim's story in Valhalla, yet when fans wanted and pretty much demanded, and still are demanding, a Bayek sequel or an Aya sequel, we're not getting it, and I don't understand why. The restructure could be the perfect moment to fix all of that, and I don't mean give us the games, I mean tie them together. With fresh leadership, fresh pitches, what actually ties the universe together now? Like, those are the questions. What's the spine? Because when Assassin's Creed is locked in, when historical sandboxes anchor a bigger present day purpose, the series sings. When it isn't, it's still a whole lot of fun, but it feels like an anthology that forgot to tie the games together, other than different Easter eggs and Cassandra popping up every now and again. Now the big question is, who replaces Côté? Now of course, let me put a name on the table that a lot of you have already thought of, and that is Darby McDevitt. Why Darby? For one, his resume. He's been a central writer / narrative director across multiple high watermark Assassin's Creed games. You got Black Flag, Revelations, Valhalla, and even after stepping away in 2021, he returned to Ubisoft specifically to keep building Assassin's Creed stories with Assassin's Creed Hexa, which should be one of the best storytelling games we've had from Assassin's Creed in a while. He also knows the lore's weird different corners and its beating heart, meaning he can bring Assassin's Creed back to Assassin's Creed. For me though, he also understands the modern day puzzle better than most. During Valhalla's cycle and beyond, he was the person explaining how present day threads fit, what the Animus meant this time, and why certain choices landed the way they did. He's done official interviews, AMAs, and press sit-downs where he talks structure and endings like an architect, not just a writer. If the job now is to stitch a consistent meta-narrative across multiple projects, you want someone who actually wrestled that octopus before and lived to tell the story. But wait, you might say, isn't Assassin's Creed moving towards the Animus hub model and a slate of different teams and tones? That's my point. That's why a narrative first leader makes sense. You need a clear editorial north star that respects each project's identity while still feeding a larger, more satisfying arc. Think of it like the best TV showrunners. They don't write every episode, but they make sure episode 7 pays off episode 3's setup without a wiki tab open on a second monitor whilst someone else looks up, oh, why has this character done this? Also, all cards on the table, I personally personally think the last decade of modern day content has felt like DLC for the plot. Sometimes fun, sometimes clever, rarely essential. If we're going to keep modern day alive, it needs to be deliberate again, short, punchy, and meaningful, not just as a museum audio guide. I mean, it's no secret on my channel that Assassin's Creed Odyssey is my least favorite Assassin's Creed game, but at least it does the modern day that we know and love. Hidden Isu artifacts, hidden Isu bases, actual modern day characters fulfilling the plot of the previous title. That is what I need, and that I think is what a lot of us want. A Darby-led vision could actually decide, is the present day a tight, serialized thread that shows up across multiple games, or do we go full anthology and stop pretending we're building to a single endgame? Either answer can work. The non-answer is what's being melting goodwill. Now, for fairness, Côté leaving doesn't mean projects already in production suddenly swerve to fit a different idea. If a grain ship is already mid-Atlantic, you don't turn it on a dime. Short-term AC releases will mostly roll on as planned, i.e. Assassin's Creed Hexa for instance. The real effects will show up roughly 12 to 24 months out, with greenlights, budgets, and roadmaps reflect the new organization. That's when you feel whether Vantage is a creative boost to the franchise or just a branding exercise to get a bit extra money for the company. But let me quickly break this down into crystal clear outcomes. You have the best case scenario. Vantage empowers a small, credible story group led by someone like Darby, not exactly like Darby, it could be anyone else, but they then set a 5-year arc, right? Clean thematic pillars, a present day spine you can summarize into sentences, and room for weird experiments like Hexa style tonal shifts that still click into the whole Assassin's Creed-esque storyline. Just a coherent story between games would be great to see. The middle case is that the new leadership focuses on efficient delivery, fewer delays, clearer marketing, but narrative remains case by case. Good games will still happen, but the series just needs to stop claiming it's one story and leads into being a premium history anthology. That's a valid identity, it just needs to be said out loud. And now the worst case scenario is that the Animus hub, the committees, and the caution give us safer choices, slower pivots, and a modern day that survives on life support because it's tradition, not because it's working. That's how you get solid individual titles that don't add up to anything you'll remember in 10 years time, except that one quest where you pet a fox and it cried and you cried and that's about it. But back to the central question I've seen a lot online, and that is, should Darby McDevitt take the seat? If the job is be the CEO of fun, no one person can do that. But if the job is define the spine and keep it consistent, Darby is as close to a plug and play fit as Assassin's Creed has. He's got the institutional memory, the fan trust, and the receipts for shipping large, complicated story structure games. He left, came back, and kept talking about endings like they actually matter. That's the energy you want in a franchise that's occasionally forgotten how to land its own story and own gameplay elements. Would there be downsides? Absolutely. A writer-first led project has to be paired with a production-first partner who knows how to wrangle schedules and cross-studio logistics, especially under a new subsidiary with multiple bosses and stakeholders. That combo, vision plus operations, is the only way this works. The good news, the Ubisoft has a deep bench of producers who shipped amazing open-world games on fire-breathing timelines. Let the writers write, let the PMs keep the trains on time, and let the players finally feel like their time with Assassin's Creed is stacking towards something again. So essentially, where does this leave us? Well, one fact is Côté, the franchise VP EP, 2 decades on AC, is gone. Fact, the series now sits under Vantage Studios, a Tencent-backed subsidiary built to centralize Ubisoft's crown jewels. Fact, no successor has been named yet. This is the moment they need to get it right. Opinion, the modern day thread has to be consistent. It's currently inconsistent, and that hurts the big saga promise with great storylines. A reset is going to be healthy. And the proposal, put a narrative architect, one that fans support and like, i.e. Darby McDevitt, in a position to define and protect the spine across projects, paired with a ruthless producer to deliver it. If that happens, we might finally get what many of us wanted since Desmond, or even Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Not endless lore dumps, but a cohesive, sparing, confident story throughout a couple games, confident modern day that makes the historical epics feel like chapters, not just spin-offs. Until then, I'm not mourning the leadership change. I know a lot of you aren't, which is good. I'm treating it like a creative mulligan. Assassin's Creed doesn't need to be louder, it needs to be clearer. And sometimes clarity starts with a new pen at the helm. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments section down below. Would you like Darby to overtake the role of lead Assassin's Creed franchise producer, guy in charge sort of thing? Or do you want someone new to come in? Do you want the modern day to be back, or would you just rather have actual sequels to characters we've played and grown to love? Let me know your thoughts down below. If you enjoyed the video, like would be greatly appreciated. Don't forget to subscribe for some more Assassin's Creed videos. Hope you all have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video.